Hey, ladies and gentlemen, Robert Newman here. Welcome to both a live stream and a recorded video that's going to make it onto my YouTube channel. What we're going to discuss today is my number one lead generation strategy for real estate agents in 2024, and that recommendation is going to be Google Hyperlocal. Okay, that is a local advertising campaign that is done in conjunction with your Google My Business page. Now, this kind of lead generation, the reason it's my number one recommendation is for a couple different reasons. The growth that Google, at the energy, the growth, and the resources that Google has thrown into local. Traffic inside their local search packets has grown by about 95% over the last couple of years, and it wasn't a small amount. It is one of the very few parts of search that is not in any question that AI is going to impact it anytime soon. AI will not affect hyperlocal search, which is where this recommendation is focused on. All right, so no impact from AI. And ChatGPT searches all of that information. While you may have some impact for websites about hyperlocal, things like that, you're not really going to have an impact when people say, what's the best restaurant in my area? Who's the best realtor? AI is not at a place where it's competing for that at all. Last but not least, it is durable in the form of the ever-growing number of lawsuits that relate to agent commissions that's putting buyer-side commissions in jeopardy in numerous states around the country and likely nationally at some point. It's going to be not a guaranteed assurance. You're going to have to sign a contract if you want a buyer-side commission. So having said all of that, this is listing focused leads. This is people who are doing the search best realtor near me, best realtor to list my home with, realtors that service my area, over and like all the searches that relate to hyperlocal. Generally speaking, are searches that relate to somebody looking for somebody to help them list their home, which means that most of the lead flow that you are going to get from your hyperlocal profile is going to be on the side that is going to be unaffected by any commission dialogues, because there is no jeopardy whatsoever to a listing agent's commission structure. It is merely either double dipping or buyer side commissions. That's what is in debate over the country. So having said all that, without any further ado, I'm going to share my screen because I do have a blog that we did that's going to cover 10 rock solid reasons why you want to focus on hyperlocal, what the pros and cons of all of that is. And of course, I gave you something in writing for you to follow along with and make sure that you're getting the most value out of this information. All right, without any further ado, here we go. Okay, the strategies are on my website, inboundrem.com. You go to lead generation, you click under blogging and SEO, and then you'll see that number 2 is 10 reasons Google Business Pages, GBP, is the best hyperlocal strategies for real estate agents. First and foremost, some of the changes that we've been watching is that Google is more and more often serving up what are called local search packs. They have just increased the range for this. Now, if you Google a city name, most of the time you get a search pack. So if I do Van Nuys, I get a search pack, and that's on the primary city name. It's a local search pack with a map connected to it. That is this. All of this is local. They're starting to tie in local information like this. These featured snippets are oftentimes going to be Van Nuys websites. Google is starting to mix in hyperlocal signals from your hyperlocal page, your Google business page, into your website rankings more and more, okay, which is incredibly important, but I'm not going to beat a dead horse. 10 reasons to optimize your Google profile, all right? We're going to try to make a case that's really going to show you why you want to do this. You don't have to hire us. This isn't a pitch for you to hire InboundREM or any other company for that matter. You want to do this on your own, okay? There are 465,000 searches that relate to houses for sale near me. That is a hyperlocal search monthly. So 5 million searches per year 13 times as many as there were in 2015. There's no way to, and we got the case study, we've got the proof. It's right here. We've done the work. Okay, you can go read the article and see it on, you can see it on the screen. This is not a guess. This is really reality. Hyperlocal is one of the no, not one of, it's the fastest growing high intent bucket of search that exists. This is it. Okay. Local keyword searches are about finding agents that are growing at an astonishing rate. Okay. This is double what it was in 2015. Right in front of our eyes, ladies and gentlemen, how people find a real estate agent is changing. It's moving, drifting deeply into Instagram and YouTube. And also, by the way, can I find reviews about this person? And that's what the Google business pages do, is it absolutely allows all of that information, a video about who you are, pictures on the profile, and reviews all in the same place. So this massive bucket of search, which is probably directly related to how much, how good the information is when we're searching for a professional locally. There's so much great information available. You start to ask yourself the question, why would you search for a local professional any other way than pulling out your phone and doing a search and understanding that you can get thrown into a hyperlocal search pack? Now, just in case I have a small handful of you as users are watching the live stream, if you're wondering what in the world is a local search pack, so if I do real estate marketing even, or if I add company to this, generally speaking, Google's going to look at my location and extrapolate what I mean. All right. Oftentimes in that extrapolation, maybe not in this case, I didn't add Los Angeles to the search. So I'm not getting, I'm getting a whole list of companies that are saying that they're real estate marketing companies in general. Okay. But if I add a Los Angeles to this, now this is absolutely what's considered, so a business, a professional, and a location. All those are always going to yield a local search pack. So here we are, real estate marketing company in Los Angeles, and now we get the local search pack for which I dominate. Okay, that's us. So anything with a profession and a location and sometimes a service, but a service and a location, you're going to get what's called a local search pack. That is what you're looking at. And Google's been expanding the searches that fall into that category. And that's what this is talking about, saying that the searches have doubled for professionals near them in general. Since 2015, it's doubled. If it was to double again in the same time frame, which is about 9 years, there will come a point in which most people are actually just finding their professional assistants off the hyperlocal search packs. If you're not either paying for sponsored advertising, you're not one of the top 3, you're doomed. So don't be one of these people that ignores this video and doesn't listen to this is where the market is going. This is it. And you can see that a lot of this spike, a lot of this creep happened in the pandemic and is spiking up currently again. This hills and valley relate to the pandemic. Only 20% of all real estate agents. So that means that if there are 10 of you watching this live stream, probably 8 of you haven't even bothered to create a Google business profile. Why you would leave that kind of fruit on the vine is beyond me. It does not take you all that much time to claim the profile, maybe an hour. Okay. You can put your reviews there. You can start to learn how to optimize it. It may take you a while to do that. If you're just learning, you can read on our blog, come to the inboundrem.com blog and read a little bit about how to optimize a profile. The information is free. It only takes your time. That's it. We're not charging you anything. We're not looking for anything from you. There's no secret trap on the website. It's merely go there and learn this, because we strongly believe that every single realtor, that's the remaining 80% of you that don't have a profile, should have one. We think it's wildly valuable, and it's certainly something that you should get used to operating with. Google business profile leads are inbound. What does that mean? I constantly talk about this. Inbound marketing is attraction marketing. You're not pushing anybody there. They're doing a search on their own. You have nothing to do with it. You didn't advertise to them. You didn't send them an email. You didn't send them a flyer. You didn't knock on their door, and you didn't call them. Inbound is they did a search without even knowing who you are, and then they find your profile, and through a copious smattering of reviews and information and maybe a link to your website, they decide on their own, without ever having talked to you, that you're the vendor for them. So they're going to go and look at your reviews. They're going to look at your services. They're going to maybe travel to your website and do more of the same. And when all of that is done, they're going to back out to the profile and click the call button, if it exists on your profile, which it does on mine, and off to the races. Or maybe save your profile, because you have that option. You can save business profiles. Maybe they'll just keep coming back to it over and over again as they get ready. And you can keep looking at these pictures. You can add video to this. You can see that there's more pictures than what people are seeing here. There's lots of ways to enhance your business profile. And honestly, on a scale of 1 to 10, we've done about a 3 with ours. So and we're killing it. So there's lots and lots of room for the rest of you. All right. It's free to set up and manage. All of this is true. You hire a company like ours, it's going to cost $1,500 and $500 a month. But guess what? You don't have to. It's the best part about it. You would have a hard time competing in a tough marketplace for local without professional assistance. That's just the truth. But if you are just trying to get it set up and kind of get your feet wet, nobody needs to help you with that. You don't need to pay any money. You can just go read a couple blog posts, set it up, and an aged profile does have value too, very similar to an aged website. Google's acronym in 2024 is Experience, Expertise, Authority, and Trust. It's still EEAT, it's EAT, but guess what? They are measuring some of that experience based on user behavior signals that they get off your Google business profile. So if you're a brand new agent, you're starting out with your career, you don't even have money to put up a $60 website, great, don't. Do this for free. Set it up today. Ask your friends and family to come leave you reviews. It's a really fast hack on how you start getting a little bit of authority, a little bit of experience, and a brand new profile with no money, just nothing but your time. And if you're in a small market, not a big, huge market like Los Angeles, it's not likely, but it is possible that you might rank your profile because you were more proactive than other agents. Put some pictures up there, fill out the entire profile. Google tells you how to do that. They will tell you as you're typing away that your profile is 95% done, 90% done. Take it to 100% and you'll be all set. Google business pages are evergreen lead generation strategy. That just means once you work on it, Google is not going anywhere, guys. I've been generating leads off my Hyperlocal profile since I started InboundREM 7 years ago. Every single year, I refer out more and more real estate deals to local clients that are here. I just did one the other night. Okay, I send out the leads to my customers, and they hopefully take them and close them. And because people think I'm a real estate company, and I also get leads for my real estate services business. So Google is where it's at. All right. If you start now, your competitors will face an uphill battle. Okay, another thing that's true. There are technical signals that are hard to replicate, and there are review signals, which you can see on the page. And these things really do move the needle. So if you do end up having 500 reviews on your Google business page, that is a factor that somebody else looks at and has to either mentally, emotionally, or psychologically overcome, and then maybe physically overcome, depending on the quality of reviews, because you can beat somebody with a lot of reviews. It's possible. We did another blog post on that, and I strongly recommend you come to our website and you can see how you can beat somebody with a ton of reviews. There are highly effective tools for actualizing GMB potential. We partner with BrightLocal. We're not being paid for this. We're not an affiliate to BrightLocal. They're just the platform that we engage with because we love this ranking screen that you're looking at. You can see here, this is the keyword. This is when we started to rank for it. This is the position based on the distance to the realtor. The dot is where the location is. The green is 1 through 3, and the ranking and the tracking is very good. BrightLocal will give you a free slot in their platform, but most likely you'll have to pay $30 to $60 a month. And if you start to use them to send your technical signals, then you're really going to have to pay some money, maybe upwards of $150. Or for some reason, you're one of the handful of veterans that is looking at this, understanding that you haven't been leveraging your profile correctly, and really want somebody to manage it correctly for you and pay them to do it, then you can pay us $1,500 to get this all set up, audit it, correct all the mistakes on it, because you probably have one already. It's probably done wrong. We probably have to fix it. That's what the setup is for. And it's $500 a month. We'll put you in touch with an agent and they will manage the profile, collaborate with you. We'll put some of the content on the profile. We'll do all the updates for you. Basically, it becomes a no-brainer. All right. So, and we'll also coach you on how to advertise. We'll basically turn this into a moneymaker as quickly as humanly would be possible. All right. That's it. Thank you so much for tuning in. Please, the name of the blog post is, guys, it is why you want to focus on hyperlocal in 2024. This is the way to go. YouTube and this. These are the two fastest, easiest, least expensive ways for you to make a ton of money in 2024. Peace out. Oh, do me a favor. Throw a like on this if you liked it. Tell me you didn't if you didn't. Whatever it is, I will respect it. Leave me some comments. If you'd like to see me do some other kind of content, leave those in the comments below. Subscribe to the channel for updates like this one. Ciao.